Hello again, Mrs. Pierce here, giving you just two more examples of writing equations from word problems. Okay, so in this one, it says an apiologist, hopefully I have said that right, have found that the number of types of bees in a hive is based on the amount of nectar and pollen available. Within a hive, there are 3 types of bees that can help the queen. There are workers, drones, and nurses. Alright, so in a recent study of a hive, it was found that, not including the queen, there was a total of 4,109 bees. There were 33 more nurses than drones, and the number of workers was 12 more than 6 times the number of drones. How many of each type of bee was in the hive? Okay, so I read the problem. I kind of described the important information by underlining it, and now I need to define my variables. So I'm going to define my variables here, and I noticed as I was reading it and underlining it that between the workers and the nurses, they were all compared to the drones. So if we knew how many drones there were, we could then figure out how many nurses and how many workers. So I'm going to let x equal the number of drones. Now, I usually, if I was going to do this myself, would probably have make the x a d for drone, but that's up to you. Alright, so x is the thing I'm going to guess, like if I was doing the 5D, so x is what we're going to start with for drones. And then as far as the nurses, it says that there was 33 more nurses than drones. So if I take the drones and add 33, that's going to be the number of nurses. And the number of workers was 12 more than 6 times the number of drones. So 6 times the number of drones plus 12, that's going to be the number of workers. This is what I would expect, and I would think most teachers would expect for you to do for the define. Okay? Alright, so now I need an equation, and it tells us that there was a total of 4,109 bees. Well, what I'm going to do is I am going to add, let's see here, these, the workers, plus the nurses, plus the drones. So I'm going to say the drones plus, here's the nurses, I'm just going to put them in parentheses to separate them, plus, here's the workers, 6x plus 12, all that must equal 4,109 bees. Okay? So now that looks kind of crazy, but in chapter 3 you guys simplified expressions by combining like terms. So in all of this stuff here, I'm just going to simplify it. It looks like I'm going to do the distributive property, but I'm not because there's not a number right in front of the parentheses. So really I'm just going to combine like terms. I've got 1x here, 1x here, and 6x's there. So that is going to give me 8 x's. And then we've got a 33 plus 12. So if I combine the constants together, that is going to give me 45. All that has to equal 4,109. Okay. Now, if it is okay with you, I'm going to do the rest of this up here, hopefully. Alright, so I'm going to rewrite that. 8x plus 45 equals 4109. So when I solve an equation, I like to drop a line, subtract 45 from both sides. So 4109 minus 45 is 4064. And I have 8 x's left on the left since they canceled out. And now I'm going to divide both sides by 8. So divide by 8, divide by 8, and then that tells me that x is 508. So now what was x? X is right here. X is the number of drones. So that tells me I've got 508 drones. x plus 33, so 508 plus 33 is 541 nurses. And then it says that the workers were 6 times x, or the number of drones, so 6 times 508, and then plus 12 is 3,060 workers. That's a lot of workers. Okay, so here is my describe, here is my solving my equation, here is my original equation. You need each of those things in order to get points. The define, the equation, solving the equation, and your declare, I should have said. Okay, let me give you the next equation, or the next example really quick, and then we'll let you try some. All right, so this question says, the second side of a triangle. Wait a minute, I think I'm going to actually draw a triangle here. Okay, now I'm going to start again. The second side of a triangle is 2 inches more than the first side. So let's say this one is my first side, this is my second, and this is my third. Okay, so second side is 2 inches more than the first side. The third side is 6 inches more than the first side. If the triangle is 35 inches, I think that should say if the perimeter of the triangle is 35 inches, what is the size of the second side? So as I was doing this, I noticed that the first side came up a lot. So if we knew how big the first side was, we would be able to figure out the second side and the third side. So I'm going to say, here's my define section. Let x equal the first side. And then it tells me that the second side is 2 inches more than the first, so x plus 2. And then the third side is 6 inches more, so the first side plus 6. And I know that the perimeter of the triangle is 35, so what I'm going to do is I am going to add the first side plus the second side plus the third side to get 32. So x plus, I'm just going to put parentheses because this is my second side, plus the third side, I'm just putting parentheses around it to distinguish it, and that has to equal 35. Now, just like the last problem, it looks like I'm going to have to distribute because I see parentheses. However, there is not a number in front of the parentheses, so really, in its addition, I'm just going to combine my terms. So I've got 1x here, 1x here, and 1x there. So altogether, I've got 3 x's. And then I've got a 2 plus a 6. So with my constant numbers, I have plus 8, and that's supposed to equal 35. Now I'm just going to solve it. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides, and that leaves me with 3x equals 27. I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and so then x equals 9. So what was x? X was the first side. So I know that the first side is equal to 9, and then the second side is going to be 9 plus 2, which is 11, and the third side is 9 plus 6, which is 15. So I am going to, because I don't have a lot of space, just right over here. Actually, all they wanted to know was the size of the second side. Check it out. If I go up here and read this, what is the size of the second side? So that's all I need to write. So I would say the second side is 11 inches. Don't forget the inches part. And that would be my final answer. Okay, go ahead and follow directions on the rest of the worksheet, and if you have any questions, just ask.